Good morning, and I welcome to all the students present in this video lecture. Today, in this video lecture, we are going to discuss about the characteristics, or we can say the fuel requirement for the diesel engines. In previous lecture, we start with the fuel and its supply system for the SI and CI engine, and that is our unit number 2. And in unit number 2, we have start with the important qualities of IC engine fuels, and we have listed down the various 8 different qualities of fuel which is required for IC engines. And then we discuss the required qualities of SI engine fuels. Then we go with the one of the important topic, that is anti-knock qualities of the fuels. Then we have discussed about the rating of IC engine fuels. Then we have discussed about the rating of SI engine fuels, that is petrol engine. And there are 3 different methods as are adopted for the fuel ratings. First method is the octane number. Second method is a performance number. And the third method is a highest useful compression ratio. And then we discuss these all 3 methods in detail. That octane number is defined as the percentage of isooctane by volume in the mixtures of isooctane and n-heptane, which is give the same anti-knock characteristics as a fuel under the standard testing conditions. And we know that isooctane is assigned as a octane number of 100, and n-heptane assigned the octane number of 0. Then we have discussed about the performance number. So performance number is basically define the anti-knock qualities of the fuel basis on the knock limited indicate mean effective pressures under the given conditions. Then the third method is the highest useful compression ratio. This method is define the qualities of fuel basis on the compression ratio. Now in today's lecture, students, we are going to discuss about the required qualities of the diesel engine fuels or CI engine fuels. So let's start with the first. The first quality is free from water and sediments. Students, as we know that in the petrol engine, the petrol and air mixtures is generated outside of the engine, and that is supplied to the inlet manifold of engines. But in the diesel engine or the CI engines, the air is only supplied from the inlet manifolds, and the fuel is directly injected in the cylinders via injectors. So it must be free from the water and sediments. Otherwise, what happens that it may damage the injection system. So this is the first requirement, or we can say the qualities of diesel fuels. Then second is it must volatile at the cylinder temperatures, and if it is not there, then combustion may not be take place and power cannot be produced. So the diesel fuel must be volatile at cylinder temperatures. Then the third is low self-ignition temperature, means the temperature that is required for the self-ignitions of the fuel. As we know that in the CI engine or the diesel engine, there is the cloud of hot air is there, and in that we are injecting the fuels. And if the fuel cannot be ignited by this slow self-ignition temperature, then we require the higher amount of the compression ratio, and the work done for achieving that is also higher. So we require the low self-ignition temperature for the CI engine fuels. Then the sulfur content is not more than 0.5%. Otherwise, it generates the more amount of the sulfur oxides, and which causes the various harmfulness for the our environment concerns. As well as when the sulfur is present in the diesel, it increases the wear due to the acidic corrosion and depositions of carbon on the piston rings. The SO2 forms react with the lubrication oil also, and that forms the gum, means it is produce the gel type of the depositions in the crankcase. So sulfur content in the diesel may be reduced the self-ignition temperature also, so that the injected diesel start burning at lower temperature in the combustion chamber, and that's why we restrict the limitations for the sulfur content is not more than 0.5%. So with this reason, we are going with the specific value of the sulfur because of this reason. Then the next is it easily atomize. Student, as we know that the viscosity of the CI or the diesel is high compared to the petrol, and hence it is affect the atomizations of the diesel, and the pressures of fuel means in the injection, or we can say the induction systems of the fuel for the IC engines is differ in SI engine as well as in CI engines. In SI engines, we are using one device which premix the petrol and air before it enters in the inlet manifolds, and that device is known as a carburetor. And here we have the fuel pump. Fuel from the engine loads, and if the viscosity is high, then the fuel cannot be get atomized. Student, as we know that atomization or atomized is a phenomena of the breaking the bulk liquids into the small droplet, and for carried out this process we need to supply some amount of energy to convert this bulk liquid into the small droplets. And one more thing I want to emphasize over here, or it must be clear in your mind, that liquid fuel cannot be burned in the liquid phase, it burns in the gas phases. So the evaporation of this liquid fuel is required, and if we have the small droplets, then it is mixed with the ambient of air, and that's why the evaporations of the liquid droplets is carried out by the heat of the air, and that's why it comes in the gaseous form and then it is burned. So every liquid is burning in the gaseous form, and that's why we need to evaporate every liquids from liquid phase to the gas phases. So easily atomize is very important, and the properties which is responsible for the atomization is a viscosity. Viscosity of the fuel must be in the given range for the operating pressures for the diesel engines. Then high heating values. High heating value is required because it consists, or it shows that how much amount of energies are associated with the fuels. And the seventh one is easy to handle. Means students, we know that there are lots of transfer of the fuel is there, as well as we need to store that. So if it is not easy to handle for this all these phenomena or all these processes, then it is very difficult to use the fuel for the diesel engines. Then the economical viable. So students, that is economic concern is also there, and sometimes you may also write that it is easily available when it is required. Now students, after discussions of this required qualities of the diesel fuels, let we go with the rating of CI engines. So the rating of the CI engine fuels is determined whether it is NOx, means similar to the SI engines. When the fuel is NOx or not, it checked by the qualities, and that qualities or that conditions or that properties is called as a rating of an CI engines. So the parameter which requires or which rate the abnormal combustions under the given standard operating conditions is called as a rating. And here, to measure or to rate the fuel, that is the diesel fuels, we have the two different methods or two different parameters we have identified, and that parameter is the Cetane number, and second is the diesel index. So this two method to rate the diesel fuels, and among that very famous is the Cetane number. So Cetane number is defined as the percentage by volume of normal cetane in the mixtures of normal cetane and alpha methylene and naphthalene, which has the same ignition characteristics as the tested fuel when the combustion is carried out under the standard engines under given specified operating conditions. Student, as we know that for the octane number we are using the two references, that is iso-octane and or normal heptanes. So here we are using the cetane and alpha methyl naphthalene. So here the normal cetane is having the value of 100 for the cetane numbers, and alpha methyl naphthalene we have the cetane numbers of 0. So basis on these two parameters we can find it out the number, that is cetane number, which is used for rating of diesel fuels. And the second one, diesel index or diesel index, we have the aniline points. Generally, for the finding out the diesel index, first we need to find the points in the degree centigrades, then we need to convert it into the Fahrenheit by applying this correlation, and then we need to multiply the API gravity divided by 100. But this method is not too much famous to find it out the rating of the fuels, and generally we are using the cetane numbers. So students, it is the end for the fuel. Now we are going to discuss the next topic given in the syllabus. Let's start with the carburation. So the carburation is a process mixture preparations in an SI engine is called as carburation. The air fuel mixture is prepared outside of the cylinder device that is called as a carburetor. The carburetor atomizes fuel and mixes with the air in different proportions for various load conditions. We can classify the various load conditions into the four categories: starting, then idling, cruising, and deaccelerations. The next we are going to discuss, that is the function of this carburation. So it must atomize, vaporize, and mix the fuel homogeneously with air. Student, as we discussed in the diesel fuel rating, none of the liquid fuel is burning in the liquid phases. These all are burning in the gaseous phases, and that's why we require first to break the bulk liquid into the small droplets, and that small droplet is vaporized and that is mixed with the air stream. So this is the first functions of the carburetor. Then second, it must supply the correct amount of air fuel mixtures in the correct proportions under the all load and speed of the engines. So students, as we have classified the load conditions is in the four categories, and in all four categories the amount of fuel required is not equal. So the function of carburetor is to supply the different types of the fuel air mixtures at the different conditions of load and speed. Then third one is it must run engine smoothly by supplying a correct mixture strength. So this is also the important points for the requirement, or we can say the functions of a carburetors. Then factor affecting the carburations. Now we have listed the some of the point which affects the carburation process, and that is the time available for the mixture preparations. Then second is the temperature of incoming air. Then the quality of the fuel supplied is also important. The engine speeds and the design of carburetor. So these are the factors which affects the carburation process. Air fuel mixtures is vary with respect to load and speed. So now before going to the definitions of this slide, I just want to write some of the formula to find it stoichiometric air conditions or the air requirement for the petrol fuels. We know that stoichiometric air requirements, it is the theoretical air required to have the proper amount of air for combustions of given fuels. So just I'm going to write the formula or chemical formula of petrol, and that formula is the C8 and H18. Now chemical balance, we have the C8 H18 is react with the O2 and it produce the CO2 plus H2O. Now we need to do the balance. We need to multiply this with the 2 and O2 with the 25, and it produces the 16 moles of CO2 and the 18 moles of H2O. Now it is there. Now we write the molecular weight of the different elements present in these reactions. Carbon having the molecular weight of 12 kg. Then hydrogen is of 1 kg. Then oxygen is of the 16 kg. So we write that here it is the 2 in the bracket. The carbon atom is 8 and the atomic numbers is 12, plus the hydrogen is 18, is having a 1 kg. See, this is the kg of the gasoline, that is C8H18, plus the 25 is there, and O2 means 2 atoms having the 16. So that much kg of O2 is there. Here it is also the kg. So this is the reactants. It produces the product of the 16 in the bracket. Carbon is having a 12 and single atoms. Then here it is a 2 and the oxygen having the 16. So that much kg of the CO2 is there, plus the water is there. So water is 18 times of the 2 into 1 plus single O2 is there. So I not write the 1, it is a 16 into 1, just I write 1 kg of the water, or we can write this H2O. So our final expression, here we get 228 kg of petrol, or we write the C8H18 plus the 800 kg of O2, which produce the 704 kg of CO2 plus 324 kg of water. So students, we require to calculate the air requirement for 1 kg. So we need to divide this whole the elements by 228. So here we get 1 kg of C8H18 plus 800 divided by 228 kg of O2, 704 divided by 228 kg of the CO2 plus 324 divided by 228 kg of the H2O. So finally we get the 1 kg of the C8H18 plus this 800 by 228 will give you the value of 3.509 kg of O2, then 3.087 kg of the CO2 plus 1.421 kg of H2O. Now students, we know that the meaning of this expression is 1 kg of petrol needs the 3.509 kg of O2 and it produces the 3.087 kg of CO2 and 1.421 kg of water or H2O for complete combustions. And we know that the source of oxygen is air. And here we take the mass base, so we need to go with the mass base systems. And we know that the air contains the 23 percentage of O2 by mass. Means the 1 kg of air has only 0. We need to multiply it with this 23, so we have this 0.230 kg of the air. So here we require the 3.509 kg of air. It means the 3.509 multiplied with the 100 divided by 23, so we get the 15.25 kg of air to burn 1 kg of petrol. So the stoichiometric air fuel requirement or the stoichiometric combustion ratio is 50:1 for the petrol. So generally we take that 15:1 for the petrol. Means that for burning 1 kg of petrol, we require the 15 kg of air. So student, it may be important parameters and we need to remember throughout this and it may be asked in the competitive examination. So you need to remember that how we derive this 50:1. It is a stoichiometric air ratio or the stoichiometric requirement of air for petrol or gasoline. And now students, this is the ratio in terms of the air is to fuel, not fuel is to air. And if the proportions means if you supply the more amount of fuel, then it called as the rich mixtures, and if your mixtures have the more air and less fuel, then it is called as a lean mixtures. So again, I want to write that the two types of mixture strength is there. If it is proper amount means a theoretical balance is there, then we called as a stoichiometric requirement. And second types is a rich mixture. One is rich mixture and second is a lean mixture. Rich mixtures means the more fuels and lean means the more air. Now students, we have expressed the air is to fuel ratio. So 15 kg of air, 1 kg of fuels. For more fuels, we have the ratio lysis below the 15:1. Means suppose I want to express over here on the some scale, then I express over here. This is the 50:1, and if you go this side, like here it is a 7:1, here it is 20:1. So this side is indicating the rich mixtures and this side is indicating the lean mixtures. As well as we go with the some relative fuel to air ratio also there, and it is indicated by 5 also. So for 5, this ratio, stoichiometric ratio 5 is 1 for the stoichiometric conditions, and if you go over here, then 5 is less than 1, and here it is a 5 is greater than of 1. So this is the requirement of the air fuel ratios. Here the air fuel mixtures vary as per the load and speed requirements. So here we have 3 types of mixture is there. One is chemically correct, that is called as a stoichiometric, and it is 15:1 for the petrol. Then rich mixtures means less than of 50:1. So here we have the 10:1. And lean mixtures when the proportions of air is more, so it is 70:1. And here on the graph we have air fuel ratio. So if air fuel ratio is lies in this range less than of the 15:1, then it is the we called as rich mixtures, and if it is there, then we treated as the lean mixtures. We shall stop over here. In next lecture we are going to discuss about the air fuel mixtures for the various load. So we are going with this topic in the next lectures. Thank you students for attending these lectures.